So in the last video, we talked about how we use callbacks to handle a sync function. In this video, we are going to use another method or another way how we can handle async methods, and that way is using promises. In this video, we are going to talk all about promises, what are promises and how we are going to use that, and what are the different methods present in promise. Hey everyone, this is Kamran and I'm a full stack web developer. And I have been working on Node.js for a long time, and now in this video series I'm explaining Node.js basics to everyone, and at the end of this tutorial I'm going to create a project on the Node.js which will help you to understand the Node.js basic as well as how do we use Node.js in creating complicated applications. Let's talk about promises now. So what exactly is promise? So promise is basically a method which we use to call something after async method. So our compiler does not wait for the async methods, but in the case where we want to execute something after that async method only, in that case we can use promises. So let's say if I'm making an API call, so an API call can take 10 milliseconds or 100 milliseconds or even 1000 milliseconds. So we don't know how much long it will take. We have to wait for the API call to be executed, and then only we can work with that data which we get in the API call, right? So let's try to create something here so which we can use a non-blocking, and then we can see how promise can help in that scenario. So let's create a problem first. So instead of this write file, I'm going to say read file, and I'm simply going to read this message text file. Now I have to remove this second parameter. So, and I'm simply going to pass this callback. So we already have gone through how to use callbacks. Once this file is read, this data will be printed over here. I'm just gonna print this content over here, and this will be read in buffer. So we have to convert this into string. Let's convert that to string. Now when I run this script, I can see that the content here I am updated will be printed over. Now you will notice that this end is printed first. So now we want to execute this line first and then print this one. So let's try to do that using a promise. So for that I'm going to shift this whole method inside a new function. Let's create a new function over here, constant get data, and this function will just simply return the content of the file. Right now I'm using this method, but you can consider this get data as any time taking process. So once we call this method, this will be executed, and again the same issue will happen, that it will start reading this, but it will print this first, then it will print this content. Now our goal is to print the content first and the end of the file then. So for that we have to add a promise over here. So let's convert this into a promise. So here promise is an inbuilt functionality of Node.js. So you don't have to import or do anything. You just have to create a promise over here. So promise you can create using new promise. So you have to pass two methods over here that will be resolve and reject. So what exactly are these methods? So we have to call these methods in case of positive and the negative response. Let's say if we are executing something and that ran successfully, then we have to call this resolve method. And if it doesn't run successfully and get some error, then we have to reject this. So instead of console error, we are going to reject the error, and in resolve we have to return the data, right? So we will return this data.string, and now from this get data method we have to return this promise. So now this get data will become a promise, and we have to catch the error and the data from this promise. So to do that, what we have to do, we have to use two different methods. Though to catch the data we have to use dot then, and then we'll just return a data from there. Once you get the data, that means that this function has been executed completely, and then you can do whatever you want to do. So in this case we are going to simply print our console, right? And we have to also catch the error in case if there are some errors. So in catch we can simply write the error. Now let's try to understand what exactly we have done in this script. So we have created this method which we converted into a promise. So if this is resolved, then function will be called, and if it is rejected, then the error will be called. Now let's move this method below its definition, or it will show some error on calling. So now let's try to run this script. So now when I'm running this script, the content of this file is printed first, and then only this end of the file is printed. So in this video, we have covered how we can create a new promise and how to handle a promise. So similarly, you can handle any of the promise using then and catch. I hope this video gives you a clarity about what is promise, how to create it, and how to handle a promise. So there are lots of advanced method available in promise which you can use to handle some complicated situation as well. Thanks for watching everyone. If you haven't subscribed my channel, hit the subscribe button down there. Happy coding everyone. See you in the next video.